Okay, so I'm yet again delighted to today be joined with Martin Lenihan. How are you doing, Martin?
I'm good, thank you, Scott. How are you?
Great. Excited, really, because it's going to be the first time I get to a game in a long time. I feel like I've been watching everything on highlights so far.
Yeah,
Don't really want to jinx
no,
it.
and it's a good one to come back to, isn't it? So an exciting one. Hopefully, a good crowd will come in on Saturday, support the club, and it'll be a good test for us as players as well. So a good one to be back for.
So we mentioned this to a couple of the other players. Is there a magic with you with the FA Cup? Is it something that you kind of look at, or is it's another game, another competition?
Again, I think the magic of the FA Cup's kind of gone from the top level, really. Unfortunately, when you look at obviously the big clubs, I feel like sometimes they can really sack it off. But for us, and we know how important it is to the club, the financial side of it, like small clubs, lower league stuff, any win, any kind of money you can get towards. And I think I remember myself personally being a 15-year-old lad, Poulton Rovers. They had a good FA Cup run, the same division that we're in now. Got to the first round proper. Played Norwich. Unfortunately, I think they're on the end of a 7-0 drubbing, but that team went on to win League One, the Championship, and then stay in the Premier League for a number of years. So, as a player, those are kind of the days that you do dream of. But I've come to Frome to get the team promoted and hopefully get into that Southern League, Premier Division.
Yeah, and I think that's the big aim. But it's just those little moments when you see like in the FA Cup game where the kids are on the side with their homemade FA Cups and someone had made a big frame that was and you think, and I know without sounding this sounds awful, I was going to say that you always get on well with the kids at the ground. I can see that with your background, that I know you work with children, and you've always been good. And on the open day that we had, you were one of the kind of key figures to be involved and make sure everyone feels part of it. So yeah, I think it's all those sort of moments, and I'm thinking I can imagine Martin being in that frame.
I think it's really important, isn't it? And like for the future of the game, the future of the club, if you're leaving those children with positive memories and experiences, like that will make them want to be involved with the club and just stay in the game. So for me, it's really, really difficult to see a lot of like lower leagues or like kind of losing teams. Sunday football's kind of dying a death, but it's really important that no matter what level of football the children are playing, they are playing and kind of integrating into the adult game as well. So hopefully tiny little things, little bits of encouragement and positive experiences can keep them, thinking about it as a positive way. And if they come through and support us, obviously bring their parents along, because that's how it seems to be at the minute, rather than the other way around. Like, no, we want to watch Frome, we want to watch them win. And obviously, hopefully we can put a good performance in on Saturday and have that similar buzz like we've had the last two rounds.
I'm wondering if your thoughts behind that come from your journey in football, really, because I know we've spoken to some of the other players that sort of come from academy backgrounds or sort of coming through from sort of pro teams. Your story's slightly different, sort of playing with the idea of not continuing, but then sort of coming back into football. Tell us about that.
Yeah, very, very, very different. I was a real late starter. I gave it a go. I got taken along as a 6 or 7-year-old by my dad. I wasn't very good. I didn't like it. And I kind of left it alone for a few years and then just started playing on the playground again. And then I think when I was about 10, I got back into football, had a couple of good years under my belt, just enjoying it. And then a local side who were better than the side I was playing for, obviously recognised that I had a bit more about me, and I kind of just kicked on and fell in love with it ever since and never looked back. Love playing it, love watching it, love coaching. And you've had experiences of trials and stuff. That, like, one of my old PE teachers arranged one for me with Bristol City when I was younger. But it's a different environment. You go in there, they've kind of got the core of their players who are all very, very good. And you've got to be something absolutely exceptional to earn a contract and then be one of those players that breaks into the under 18s and then the first team. So I was very aware that not going in sort of underplaying it, but my dad, he's like, you know, always been one of my heroes and somebody who I respect a lot, and he's always kept me grounded and realistic. So you know, never to get too high with the highs and too low with the lows, but it's always been kind of around the non-league scene, like you've touched on before, Scott.
So, and that's where you first met Danny, really, sort of.
Yeah, yeah, it is, funnily enough, because you know, I played for a few clubs beforehand, but didn't really feel, as a young player, I didn't feel that I was getting a fair kind of crack at it, and people on reputation who weren't necessarily as committed, in my opinion, and I thought I was performing well. So, but then again, being young, you're a bit rash sometimes, and maybe there were times where I could have waited it out. So I had a bit of a break from the game, then went back playing locally with my friends. And a good friend of mine who was playing for the team that Danny was assistant at the time gave me a ring and said, look, come over. Or he texted me, actually. He said, come over, train. And yeah, I met Danny, and then the summer after, he had the Bradford Town job, gave me a call, and yeah, we enjoyed some good years over at Bradford.
So obviously that's progressed yourself all the way to Frome Town, and now you've become the vice captain of the team. Did that come as a bit of a surprise, or was that something that you talked about, or sort of an ambition of yours?
No, it was a complete surprise, really. Obviously, I'm kind of somebody that I imagine you hear quite a lot of. I'm quite a vocal kind of person. Obviously, that comes from my job. I need to be somebody who's quite confident speaking in front of a group of people, feeling comfortable around the lads. So I feel like I've got a good relationship with the wider group and people individually. But again, it wasn't really something that I was thinking, right, I want to be vice captain. Obviously, for me, it's something I really enjoy, and I was, you know, I was going to accept it naturally. But you don't think about it when you've got a captain like Teely, to be honest. Like, for me, you normally have two types of captains. You normally have somebody who's like a sort of a shouter and a bowler, somebody who organises. Like, doesn't mean they're not a good player. And then you have some that are not necessarily quiet, but their performances, they're 8s out of 10s every single week, and they lead by example, and the players look up to them. And I think over the last, well, we haven't completed the season yet, but Teely's performances, along with his kind of his shouting and bawling, his organisation, he's kind of covered both those bases. So it wasn't, you know, it was never something like, I'd love to be a captain of a club at some point, and like I said, whenever I put the armband on, it's great. I enjoy it, but the less I have to wear the armband, the better, because that means that Teely's not on the pitch, and that means that, you know, we're not at our strongest, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's good. I was actually there for your acceptance speech. It was very messy, but it's
yeah, no, it was. And I think things like that are really important. I think we've got a really good group. Obviously, for me personally, I'm desperate to win things, and like when we were saying about the FA Cup, obviously we're not going to win the FA Cup, but I think I like to take every single competition we play in seriously. I'm 27 now. I haven't actually, I've been a runner-up a number of times, but I've never actually won a cup final that's not at like junior level, or won a league. So for me, it's really, really important that you know, we can do something like that with Frome, whether it be the league, a cup, the playoff final, whatever. That's something that's really important to me. And like I said, that the team spirit, you need that kind of togetherness. We've got a wide range of people, haven't we, in terms of age, experience, different personalities, and I think those socials involving everybody at the club as well, like you say yourself, Derek, the people behind the scenes. And I think as a club, we're doing that really well at the minute.
You kind of just hit on a second ago about the job that you do, and I think people will be quite interested and not surprised, but actually it's very different for someone in football to be part of. Do you want to just talk about that for a couple of seconds?
Yeah, so essentially I am a teacher of a special needs school. I work with children, and we mainly specialise with children with autism and speech and language difficulties. I'm currently working with a group of majority year 9, so like 13, 14-year-olds, couple of year 10s, couple of year 8s. But it's a job that I always wanted to be a teacher. I had a great PE teacher in school. I did want to be a football coach, but the rainy days kind of pushed me more towards the teaching. And I went to Bath Uni, did a sports degree, and I was like, right, my final year, I was going to do my PGCE, become a teacher, and go straight into it. Luckily, I didn't now, because I wouldn't have found the job that I love and I do now. So had a year, I was going to have a year out. Bumped into a girl I used to go to school with, and she said that the school were hiring teaching assistants. So I thought I'll do that for a year, go away, do my teaching degree, go be a PE teacher at a secondary school, come back. And then, yeah, got stuck into it, stayed there for 3 years as a TA. The season before I joined Froome, I completed my PGCE, which is a year at university to get your teacher status. And my whole time at Froome, I've been a teacher back at the school, the Mendip school, where I was a teaching assistant beforehand. So yeah, I think people are quite surprised that is obviously the line of work that I'm in. But it's something that I do thoroughly enjoy, and football works as a great release from what's quite a full-on week, but very rewarding and enjoyable job.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. I'd take my hat off to anyone that's working in that sort of industry and doing those sort of things. It's definitely something that's bigger than me. And but one of the things that also stood out for me was last year you actually took on a fantastic fundraising opportunity for Calm.
Yes.
How did that come about? And tell us what you did.
Well, again, it's something I'm very, very proud of. So me and, like, I'd say my childhood friendship group, really. There's a group of us, I think for the last almost 6-7 years now, we'd go out every Thursday night, whether it be go and play tennis, football, go for some food, go for a pint, watch a game, anything like that. And it just used to be a bit of a laugh. Well, it is still a bit of a laugh, but I think as we've got older, it's been one of those, for the first, as soon as we sit down, everyone's we're like, how's your week been? Everything okay? And I think it's been an opportunity for us to kind of, like, I don't know, highlight that importance around, like, people's mental health and just checking on your family, your friends, people that you care about. And a close friend of mine, like, I won't go into names or anything, I know he wouldn't mind anyway, but well, a number of the lads have had their difficulties with their mental health, and suffered and felt really passionately about the cause. So, and don't get me wrong, personally myself, there are days where, like, things are difficult, and I think being a man, I know women have their mental health difficulties as well. I think there's quite a lot of expectations on it, and with an old fashioned kind of head on it, the phrase "man up's" not thrown around as much anymore, but it used to be hard to kind of get on with it, and sometimes that isn't as easy. But so we thought, right, we'll do something about it. Lockdown was obviously a big strain on people, mentally, physically. We were only allowed first to go out for an hour a day, weren't we? I think for one piece of exercise. So I think it was the November lockdown. Mm-hmm. I can't think who we'd played. We just announced that we were going to have a month off. We finished football, and I remember Danny said to us, we're going to do a Zoom class like a couple of times in the week or whatever. Can players take it in turns to lead and do your bits to sort of keep fit? And I kind of took that to the extreme. I think I was doing some form of run, cycle, or walk every single day. And out of my 8 friends who took part in it, we're all, like you said, we're all mixed kind of ability in terms of how active we are, and we kind of set our little targets, put a little bit extra on kind of for a bit more motivation, rounded it up and thought, right, we're going to set this target of, I can't think off the top of my head how many miles it was combined now, but we raised over £2,000 for the charity, and it's something that I know, obviously, I'd like to think I've got a great friendship group, great family. I know when things are difficult, I can have a lot of people I can turn to and talk to. But I think £8 covered a call for somebody who needed to reach out to somebody. And obviously I've taken for granted that I've got such a fantastic support network, but not everybody's been able to have that. So it was really something that we wanted to raise a lot of money for.
Yeah, I think you're playing it down slightly, because from what I can see, you went 672 miles is what you recorded.
Yeah.
Obviously, you set a target of £1,000 and you raised £2,545 and got 146 people to support you.
Yeah.
When you sort of look at those stats and think of how many people are backing you and believe in you, and given that I work in that industry as well, it's very impressive what's been achieved. And
no, I appreciate that.
What you've done.
It does. It puts a smile on your face. It's obviously I'm quite, like I said again, that support network. It shows, like, you know, people have come and support the cause, whether that be like, you know, a small donation or a large donation. I know some local businesses who we have connections with put money towards it as well. And the big thing for me was, obviously the money's great and it was supporting most people that don't have that support network like we do. In terms of a friendship group, but just people talking about it. And I think it, you know, with so much going on, I stopped watching the news a long time ago, to be honest. With it, kind of the negativity was dragging me down. So I thought, right, can we do something that's important, something important to talk about? Same with the Black Lives Matter stuff, players taking the knee. Can we focus on things that are really important and, you know, try and channel that energy in a positive way?
Okay, well, you've left me absolutely nowhere to go from that, Martin, because anything that I say now beyond this is going to be going, right, how do I drag this back from the very serious matter into what I had was next was, what was your favourite goal of the season so far? No.
Well, if I'm going to answer that question, there can only be one goal, surely. You must be thinking, what's your favourite goal of the season? It must be Rex Manning's against Poulton, surely.
Well, it was mine, but the goal of the month of this season actually didn't say that, did it? It came out as, I think it was John Davis's, I think, was in the same game. I think, like, where he pulled it.
Yeah, to be honest, that again, John, like, but you come to expect that with Jono. Like, he's picked the ball up on the halfway line. The player has tried taking him down. Jono's strength, his core stability, his athleticism, it's not knocked him off balance. He stayed on his feet and then running from the halfway line to then get into the box to finish 1-on-1. You've got a lot of time to think. And I know he probably has less time to think than I would because he's a lot quicker than I am. But yeah, great goal. But I think that Rex goal was that was special, I think. But again, you come to expect that from Rex. He scored a similar goal a couple of years ago. I think he chested it up and performed a bicycle kick. But yeah, we're very lucky. And I think you've got players like Rex and Jono. Obviously, I think the attendance has been good this year, especially the first game. That was a really good idea. A great game to play in. Obviously a bit cagey. You want to get the result when you've got so many people coming in, but you know, people are going to keep coming through the gate. We've got good, exciting players who, and at the minute we're scoring goals. So long may that continue.
And I think you're right. You say the tendencies are going up. The performances are brilliant. It's really entertaining when you come down to watch the side, and that you can contribute to, and that Danny obviously sets out with a plan. And as you say, well, I think we're all very excited to see what Saturday brings, come what may.
Yeah, definitely.
We know it's going to be tough, but these are the games you go out and enjoy, and we'll see where it goes from there.
I think the lads, like, you know, as individuals, you want to test your players yourself against players like that, don't you? Obviously, I think I don't know too much about Oxford City, to be honest. I know that they're in the same division as Bath, I believe, because I saw they played each other, I think, last week or the week before. But, you know, we all, I think, as young lads, you all have aspirations as playing as high as you can and testing yourself. And hopefully, I think we can make a positive performance. And who knows, anything can happen in the cup. If we're going in it with a negative mindset, thinking there are 2 leagues above us, you know, we don't stand a chance, then we're wasting our time turning up. But we're also realistic.
I know for a fact they're more worried about you guys. There you go. That's all it is.
It's a banana skin, isn't it? Like I know that I'd much rather be the underdog. It's nice because we don't really get to be the underdog. Being Frome, I think with the reputation, obviously I wasn't there at the time, but coming down from the Southern Prem, I think clubs always want to beat you. And then obviously the fact that we went toe for toe with Thatcham, we don't know how that would have ended that season, but we're there to be shot at. We're there at the top every week. People give that extra 10% every time they play us. So it's nice that, not pressure off, but it's definitely nice that there's no expectation for us to come out of the game definitely winning it. But, we're going into it trying to win the game 100%. And I think if you speak to all of the lads, you won't get a different answer.
Brilliant. Well, thank you for your time this evening, Martin. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you as always. And
no worries, it's a pleasure.
And we look forward to seeing and speaking to you after Saturday's game.
Yeah, brilliant. Hopefully it's in my hat on Monday, but fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Thanks, Martin.
Thanks, Scott. Take care, mate.